What we are doing today for you, Kevin, is we're going to create an ad for you for your business, for your online e-com store, so that you can sell more things. And the reason we want to run an ad rather than just post organically is because if you post organically, I mean, the only people that are going to see it are your 200 followers. And I don't assume you only want to sell to your 200 followers, right?
That's right. And we need to open our market up a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. So the good thing about the Facebook platform, Instagram platform, I mean, you can reach as many people as you can pay for. And so, and for cheap too. Like we can already see the ads you've been running, which have done fairly well traffic wise, are um let's see, for 89 bucks, we've reached 9,400 people. For 196 bucks, we've reached 20,000 people. So basically, this is like what? I don't know. But you could do the math right there.
Right.
You had to wait, you know, to till you got 20,000 followers to like market to them.
Do you know how long it would take 20,000 people to come down my road to the location?
Well, also it's not even the just putting it in front of 20,000 people. We're putting it in front of 20,000 relevant people. This is not just people who are,
Exactly.
yeah, these are people that we can directly target. Like for this one, we targeted people who were interested in the Texas Rangers or Carhartt apparel. And what for people who watching this who don't know, your business and brand is Texas Mart, right? And it's
Right.
basically an online e-commerce store that features Texas-based products, Texas-based apparel and merch. And so obviously, it would probably mostly only resonate with Texans and people who were interested in Carhartt type apparel. So we can tell Facebook in this ad manager, hey, we only want to show our stuff to people most likely to buy it. And so this is 20,000 relevant people for,
So the reach is like how many people actually viewed the whole thing, I guess. And then the impressions, what's the impressions? That's the total number of people it actually was in front of.
no, so reach is how many people it was in front of. Impressions is how many times it was in front of anyone. So it could have been in
Oh,
front of these 20,000 people like one and a half times or two times or whatever. Like your ad showed to it probably showed to people at least obviously it showed to all of these 20,000 people at least once, but to maybe a third or half of them it showed it to them twice.
okay.
And that's
And
what
then
you
that's 77777 click through to the
yeah,
site.
and
Gotcha.
yeah, out of all these people, 777 peculiar number are the ones that actually clicked through to your website. And some people might say, "Hey, that doesn't seem like a very good percentage rate." But actually, it is higher than normal. Like the average is, well, it was lower than I thought. I just looked it up, and the average is between like 1% and 2% click-through rate. And we have over a 3% click-through rate. And even on this ad, we have even a better click-through rate. So it's almost 5%. And it's an industry average. This is just real world data. It's like because you think about yourself, like how many ads do you see on a daily basis versus how many you actually click on, right?
That's really good since the only two people been clicking on it was like me and you up until the November 5th, I think it was.
Mhm. And again, this even breaks it down more. Like you can put yourself in front of a relevant stranger who's likely to be interested in your business for just a quarter. That's pretty amazing. Like you can just
That's pretty
go
cool.
anyone in well in your case in the state because we selected Texas because this is a Texas product. But there's still 30 million people in Texas, so that's I mean, it's wide open. It's an ocean. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to be this is why I prefer Facebook and Instagram ads over any other like Google or or anything any other kind of marketing because we can get ourselves in front of um any however many people we want for 25 cents per person on average. So, and it's different for every business industry, but this is what's going for you. And so, yeah, and I'm pretty proud to say this click-through rate's higher than average. And so, um, yeah. So let's dig down. Again, Facebook tells us even right here, high performing. So it's like, hey, good job. Anyways, what we're here to do is create a new ad and kind of go through the process and show you how it's done because anybody can just say, you know, any random claim, but we like showing our work. So,
What kind of ads can you do with like a reel?
so yeah, I'll show you what we're gonna do to kind of back up just a hair. We have just posted an organic piece of content, right? This reel. Let's go to your
Uh-huh.
Facebook. This is your page. And we just posted this organic piece of content with this reel featuring one of your new shirts, right?
Hmm.
So it's always good to have organic stuff on there because it's basically social media is kind of turned into websites for, or a website extension for people. So even though we can't bank on posting organically, we just want it there as the foundation. So when people do come, they'll see all this stuff that you have on there and you know, but we take the organic content that we've posted, and in an ideal scenario, you take the best performing organic content and then put money behind it because the performance that it tells you that the organic has achieved is an indicator of what will do well in paid ads. So again, ads is basically just turning a good performing piece of content into one that can reach people who aren't already your followers. So it's like pouring gas on the fire in essence. So anyways, this is we're taking this one because we like this shirt. We want to promote this shirt. It's a good reel. We're going to turn it into an ad. Um, and so we're going to do that is go to the ad dashboard here. So this is a place most people don't ever see, especially if you're just kind of a casual Facebook or social media user. Because I mean, you're just on it, you know, for casual fun or relationship, right? But businesses can benefit because Facebook and Instagram have the deepest, the most user base like of any, I think any website or platform in the world. It's like 3 million people, or no, 3 billion people on their platforms. So if we wanted to reach 3 billion people, we'd just say 3 billion people times 25 cents. I wonder how much that would be. And that's why Facebook is $1 trillion company. People are like, how do they make money? You know, that's a free service. Well, they make money from ads, from businesses of all sizes, paying like from your business all the way to Nike and Apple and Disney, who are paying probably somewhere about $1 million a day to Facebook to show their stuff to people because you go where people are. That's what you do in marketing. Um, Anyways, and to wrap it up, lastly, before we create this campaign, the reason I like Facebook and Instagram ads over Google, and we use Google search engine optimization too, and Google Ads, but with Google, you can only depend on people who are already actively searching for something similar or you. But in this case, especially with any new brand, they're not automatically going to be searching for you at all. And the chances that them coming across you by looking for something else is very, very slim. So, and that's like 1 to 3% of people who are ready to look for something who are on Google looking to buy something right now. Whereas with Facebook and Instagram, people are just casually scrolling. So we have the opportunity to reach, to get in front of and nurture to the other 97% of people in the world. So that's my spiel. So we're going to go create a campaign. You already have a few running, but we're going to create a new one. And there's different campaign objectives. And this is essentially your funnel. And in sales, in business, whatever you're doing to make money, there's always a funnel. And it goes from like level of coldness to level of hot or ready. So basically this goes down in that order. So awareness, this is the cheapest, and as you go down the cost per each campaign goes up because the intention is higher. And of course, we only have 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna have to do another one, but that's okay. I'll start another one after this. With awareness, this is basically going to reach people who have no idea who you are or what you do or anything, and it's the cheapest way to get in front of people and to start the conversation per se. It's the cheapest, but also least effective. The most common campaign is traffic, and that's just the general get in front of people who are cold to warm because Facebook already knows based on your clicks and your page follows and your activity what you're into. So it knows that's how it knows what to show, where to show what ads.
Mhm.
So most common, good for link clicks. You can send people to your website. You can have different. Um, these are the campaign objectives, but then you can have different destinations like um, your website or a message conversation or a call, stuff like that. Engagement, good for conversations. Not great for this scenario or e-com or anything. This is more like for one-on-one sales or maybe high ticket or learning or something. Leads, good for service-based businesses or high ticket sales too. You can, instead of taking somebody to a different website and then trying to get their information that way for them to submit a form, Facebook has recently put this one out there so that people can just see your ad, whether that's an image or a video, and if they like what they see and they want to learn more or want to have a conversation with someone about a product or a service, they can just put a little information in that Facebook lead right there and it goes straight to the person. So in any sort of business or sales, we always want the shortest distance from someone not knowing who you are or just first seeing you to even getting their information or even better, getting the sale. So always shortest distance. So submitting a
Mhm.
form via Facebook is quicker than them, wandering around your site, which is usually built poorly if people are building it themselves. And then app promotion, again, for apps, not a lot of, haven't used that a lot. Sales. This is the highest converting sales campaign. So they know here at the bottom, based on your past activity and past ads, they know who has the highest intention of engaging or buying from you. So you can choose the sales objective to show your ads only to that group of people, like the top 10% of people who are engaging or intentional or motivated or whatever that Facebook decides makes them the most likely candidate, and then only show your ads to those people. That's why this one's the highest cost campaign. But
So
anyways,
is that why whenever I click on something or choose something or I search for something, then that's where they target me on the sales?
yeah,
Or
pretty
if
much.
you come up with a different variation for what I
There's
was looking for, then I get those related ads.
Yeah, there's hundreds of, maybe even thousands of different strategies. It's kind of like a node tree, and sometimes people just run one ad, and some people have like a literal tree of hundreds of ads that it's like basically their ad algorithm or whatever that they try to
Mhm.
optimize. So, and yeah, but every time you click, well, no matter what you click on, if it's an ad or not, like Facebook. And they have this in their user agreement. Everybody says like, "Oh, I didn't agree to this. I'll opt out or whatever." Whenever you sign up for a Facebook account, you agree to the user agreement. You can't move forward without doing that. And
Mhm.
that gives them the right to log every click that you do and compile it into a profile. And that's how they know who to show or that's how the algorithm, because they don't know or care really. It's all the algorithm.
So they
Um,
target.
yeah, they're not like personally targeting you or anything, but that's how their algorithm knows who's most likely to be interested in like baseball or hunting or basket, whatever, literally whatever, thousands or hundreds of thousands of niches. So, anyways, traffic
Okay.
is the most common, uh, and then sales probably the second most common. So we're just going to go with traffic because we're
So what
still building.
well, does that what does that do? Does it put like a the shop button on your ad on the reel or shop now or what is
Yeah,
or is that just the sales one or how does that what's the difference between the traffic and the sales there?
so it'll still give you the option for both destinations, like shop now or buy now, whatever the call to action is. The
Okay.
difference mainly is in the audience that it shows the ad to. So again, like with the sales, it will take like the top 10% of people that it's gathered data on who have
Gotcha.
interacted with your brand, and then show you can pick a specific event. Like if somebody's added something to their cart and then decided, well, I'm going to think about it, then it literally knows based on the data, and that's a whole separate video and a whole separate screen. You can see not their personal information, but again, Facebook logs all of the events or actions that people take. And you can go see, oh, well, it looks like, 34 people added this to their cart, but they didn't check out. I'm going to create a sales campaign and only show this ad of this product that they almost bought to these people because they're like 90% likely to go through with the sale. But
Gotcha.
everything is based on accumulated data. So if you have to really gather, I think I talked to a rep one time, and I think it was like at least 500 or 1,000 um, basically reps or repetitions of a data point before you can use that data set to tailor that sales ad or that objective to that audience or person. So you have to put in a little time and a little investment to teach the ads algorithm who is your most likely audience. And that's why it's kind of important to niche down a little bit, at least in the beginning, because I mean, you still want to try to be as profitable as quickly as possible. So it's all a game of numbers, really. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with this traffic campaign because we've established it's the most broadest and most common, and in our case, the most effective to go with. So we're going to continue on that. And what they've been doing a lot lately is a lot of this recommended settings. Like Facebook really is trying to take the control away, for better or worse, from the ad managers because there are a lot of things that the algorithm and the technology does know better. Sometimes, though, in specific cases where you have specific objectives or audiences or parameters, you do need to have take the control back. So for in this case, I'm just going to go with manual just to kind of since we're doing this anyways. So all this does basically is just check certain boxes that I can check in the manual. So I know what differences those are. A lot of it has to do with like Advantage Plus audiences. And basically what that is they'll say, hey, we know you want to reach these specific people, but if you check this box, we'll show it to people who we also think are most likely to engage that might be outside of your specified parameters. And since the objective is always to get more clicks or more money or whatever, more leads, then, you know, usually beneficial to do that. But again, it's nuanced, which is why we have to retain a lot of the control. Anyways, I'm going to call this one. So we're boosting that reel. So I'm going to call this the Texas Roads Reel. And this is a traffic campaign. I'm leaving that. We don't need to, and feel free to jump in and interrupt me if you have a question. I'm just trying to go fast for time's sake. But,
Right.
um, and these you can just name them, as you need to just to remember to organize them. There's no right or wrong necessarily. It's just how best can you remember. Special ad categories, no. This is for if you're doing real estate, political, housing, any certain things that don't apply to most ad runners. Um, let's see what if it tells us. Yeah, financial, employment, housing, social issues. No. We're leaving these campaign details, the auction. So basically, we're going to bid against other people in our niche, which is apparel, probably Texas-based apparel or Southern-based apparel. Um, campaign objective traffic. It's just telling us what we already know. We don't need to click anything in there. A lot of the stuff they do have checked by default, and it usually is fine. I don't do Advantage campaign budget. This just says, hey, we'll control when we increase and decrease the budget spend. I've never really found that, and people I've talked to don't found that to be necessarily helpful. I do this sometimes, create an A/B test, like for different creative, which means the ad image or video or a different audience. Like maybe I want to test between only those who have interest in Texas Rangers, and then versus people who are interested in Carhartt apparel. All of those people in Texas. So we can test those two
Okay.
different audiences and see who is best. I did that and it they were pretty close because obviously if you like Texas Rangers, you're probably keen on Carhartt. So they were pretty close. Next. So that was all good. That's the ad campaign level, lots of top level details and information. The ad set level, which is the middle level, the third level here on the left. This is where we pick a lot of our specific parameters, and where more customization comes into play. So again, I'm just going to name this. Um, so Texas roads, and then um, so for this reel, which has the John Denver song in it, we might want to think about a potential target audience to specify, and maybe people who like country music that live in Texas. Uh,
Uh-huh.
we don't want to cram too many audience interests or types into one campaign because then you can't tell if it does well and it's working or not. You can't tell why it's working or why it's not working. So that's what
Right.
A/B
That's a
test.
good idea, though.
Yeah. So maybe we'll try that. We'll look at different things, but Texas roads, real, and this one's pretty simple, so I'm gonna leave it the same. Oh no, I'm gonna actually add in Texas roads. Um, let's just since we'll probably go with that country music because this is that level where we choose the audience.
Right.
We want to send them to our website, actually, not messaging apps. I don't know why that was defaultly selected. Um, And what's the budget you want to do for this ad that is the reel that we posted?
That is a good question. So let's,
Do you have any questions about the budget, like what it means or anything, when you're billed or
well,
whatever?
let's see. I think, well, my understanding is so if we set it to like $10, then it'll run up almost to 10, and then it'll stop for the day, or
Mhm.
it runs up to that, something
Yeah,
like that. So,
it uses 10 for the average. So like it kind of tells you, and they've actually upped it. It used to be like maximum daily spend 12.50, but now they raised it to 17.50.
well,
So
let me ask you this: since it's like today's Black Friday, so everybody's shopping and they're off, and this weekend they're going to be
yeah,
probably. I know Sunday is a good night for Facebook for me anyway.
yeah.
So if we put it at the max, say 1750, then we could go in uh, Monday and then drop it to 10.
Well, yeah, you can definitely change this every minute if you want. So
Oh,
this
okay.
you could always change this, but going back to what you were saying, this maximum daily spend is not what they'll allow you. This is the max they will spend above your preferred budget. So like if I changed this to 20, it would go up to $35 a day. So
Oh, okay. It's a
that's just
range.
them, yeah, that's them basically saying we don't care what your budget is. We want to spend this amount of money. So it's saying, hey, we know you want to spend $20, but we might, because we think it's in your best interest, we might spend up to $35 a day. So that's where you have to be careful and look, unless you just, don't care. But and
Right.
I want to specify too that your budget doesn't necessarily, if you spend more money, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll get better results. It just means you'll get those results faster than, and this is basically just
Right.
time. It's a time factor. So the
Well,
effectiveness of your brand and your product in your ad remains the same, whether that's good or bad. But you'll see how good or bad or effective or not quicker if you do a higher budget, if that makes sense. But you'll get those results slower if you do a lower budget.
let's do the 20 to yeah, let's do the
$20.
20.
Okay.
Yeah, through Sunday, and then we'll drop Monday. We'll drop it to 10. I just want to boost and try to, because I
Yeah,
think the ad
that's
you
good.
built, the reel is really cool. I think it's really nice.
And you're perfectly right. Like Black Friday weekend, definitely a good time to try to get more in front of people than not. Like it's never a bad idea to get in front of as many people as you can because that, again, just it'll give you the reception of your brand out in the world faster. It'll give you those results and data faster.
Gotcha.
And I'm not gonna put an end date on here because you can always turn this off or change anything at any time. And I've put end dates before, and something started performing well, and then it hit the end date, and then when I tried to restart it, it didn't. It never got back to that high level again.
Gotcha.
So there's no real benefit to setting an end date unless you're just gonna forget. So we'll come in Sunday or Monday and just change, either stop it or change the budget or whatever. Audience controls. This is a huge, probably almost the most important part of the whole thing, the entire thing, because this is where you can choose who, what, and where you want to show your ads to. And again, Facebook, they want to take control away because they believe that they know your audience better than you. And in a way they do. But like for you with Texas Mart, we don't want to show Texas Mart to people in like New Jersey or Oregon. Like they're not going to care. That's going to be wasted ad spend. So we're going to show only to people. And that's the cool thing about these ads is you can show even to like a 2 square mile radius. You can show it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a city, a state, a country, the whole world, globally, it doesn't matter. Um, but we want to show this only to people in Texas because we're Texas Mart, and most likely only people in Texas are going to care. So cool. We're getting a lot closer to our probable audience. We know our estimated audience. It's telling us this panel on the right tells us its best judgment of the results it thinks we'll get. And so our estimated audience size is 34 million because we know there's like obviously 34 million to 40 million people in Texas. So that's the size of our audience. Now it's not going to show it to all of those people. It's going to show it to roughly 3,500 to 10,000 people a day. And out of everybody it shows it to, it estimates, based on previous data or other similar brands data, that we will get about 155 to 400 clicks a day, which is not bad. It's pretty good actually. But you're doing a modest to good budget. Most people just want to run one ad for $5 a day and then they wonder why they're not getting rich. So, and then, okay, we did the location specifications, but now we want to go even deeper, even more specified. Still not too specified because there is a point where too specified is bad, but still, it's all about how many people are we getting in front of, and that's at least a potential of 34 million. So we're going
Wow.
to refine it a little further because we want to take into account, we know we're Texas Mart, Southern Texas focused merch brand apparel. And this ad specifically is for a shirt that says "Take Me Home, Texas Road" with a country song on it. So we want to show it first and foremost to those most likely people to be interested in everything I just said. So, and this is where you can kind of get a little finicky with it, hopefully not too much. I, unless it's something gender based or age based. I don't like to do these too often, but like if you've looked at your data and you know like only people above the age of 50 are, resonating with this product or this brand or whatever, we can save ad spend by specifically only targeting those people, if we wanted to have the most likely outcome of results. Now, if we wanted to grow our audience and get in front of more people that might not be interested in us yet, we would definitely want it to be more broad. So in this case, and that's where the algorithm will take over a lot of times. It still, no matter what, is going to try to show it to the most likely audience as possible. And then it's up to you to do repetition, quality, and build that sales funnel mentally, to put in front of them. So, but here's the big, 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 big part of it. This little box right here is what's made people freaking seven, eight, nine figures because you can show it specifically to people interested in certain things. With this ad, we have country roads, or sorry, Texas roads, or the ad we talked about. Country music, Texas theme, country theme. So, pretty good chance if the category is available, and it is, we can pick. We will only want to show this. So I'm clicking on country music. So now we're sh only showing this, not that, because it went away. We're only showing this ad that has a country song with a country shirt to people in Texas, in the state of Texas, who are interested in country music. Now, we could define that even further to just males or just females, but we're not going to do that because we don't know yet who's interested. Now, if this was only a female shirt, it would be a good idea only to show it to females. Um, or if it was only a male shirt, it would be a good idea, even though, people buy for other people. But again, it's just all about trying to get the most potent amount of ad spend in front of people. So again, this is all just, it's all testing and lots of testing. Anyways, I think you can tell me what you think. I think this is a good, broad, but also specific um, niche to try out. And it's telling us based on it went down a little bit, but that's okay because if these 82 to 200 people are more likely to be interested, then I'd rather show it to fewer people who are interested than more people who are uninterested. So,
Right,
uh,
right. I like it.
yeah, that's the whole idea behind that. Yeah, I know it's a fire hose, but is there anything that seems confusing that I haven't covered or anything?
No, it looks good. I saw gender and it says all genders underneath it. I thought I don't know how many genders there are.
Let's see. Well, according to Facebook, there's only two genders.
Well, that's a good place to start.
Wow, which is surprising for such a big company. But um, yeah, when the money's on the line, people whip out the logic real quick.
Right, right.
Um, so that's good. That's our ad set where we can specify a lot of who we want to target. And so now we can save that if we want, not gonna placements. We don't need to mess with that because we're gonna try to show as many places as possible, different places in Facebook that it decides. So we're gonna go next. The last step is where we're gonna create the actual ad itself. And luckily, we don't have to create the ad because it's already created organically. We just have to
Uh-huh.
select the post that we want to use for the ad, and then boom, we're done. So I'm gonna call this ad name um, Texas Roads Real Organic Post. And that's just to be really specific so I know what I'm looking at when trying to look through all the data. Um, so we have some options here. We want to make sure these are always selected correctly because if you're managing multiple pages, you don't want to show, Texas products onto, a guitar education platform. It's just
Right.
so we could create an ad that we've created in Canva or Photoshop or wherever, but in this case, and we'll save that for another time, but in this case, we're going to use an existing post because we already posted one that we like. It's doing well, and we're using an existing post. Leave multi-advertiser ads, that's fine. Ad sources, Texas Mart, catalog. Not, yeah, we're not going to use the catalog. Well, no, we are. So, this is something we have to think about. Do we want on this ad where we are promoting this specific shirt, do we want to have the option to present to people more items in the Texas Mart catalog, or do we think that will distract them from the ad that we're trying to run to them? These are the deep level things you have to think about and decide when you're creating the ad.
I think we're kind of drilled into that particular shirt with a theme
Yeah,
that we're
I was getting
looking
good bet.
for that to get them to the site, and then we'd be okay. So we wouldn't need the.
And this could be a good A/B test. Like we could
Uh-huh.
do it this way and then create a duplicate of this to test in the A/B test and then actually select the catalog and see if that, makes more money or, makes a difference.
Right.
But in this case, I think it would be good to focus on what we're actually advertising on. So, obviously, we want our URL to go to where people shop, and that's good there. We're going to select the post that we want to use. And so that would be our Texas Road shirt, right? Or our,
Right.
yeah, Texas Road shirt. There, we're select it, and it'll show us a lot of posts that we've done in the past. If we wanted to promote this Eat More Tacos shirt, we could do that, but it wouldn't make sense because that's not what we're doing. But we could select it.
Right.
So we're going to select this. And then once
So
we do that, it's going to show us, hey, this is what your ad's going to look like, which is pretty
can
cool.
you play it with the music?
Yeah, let's do it.
Life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country road, take me home.
There we go. So remember, I was telling you, and this is just something that I had the foresight to do because I've been doing this a while. Like originally, you had, pitched to make this text at the top of the reel, which would
Uh-huh.
have still made sense in this context because we have all this room. But I just know from doing dozens and dozens and dozens of ads that it's not in the most
Yeah.
common post, it's gonna cut some of it off. So I was able to save us a little time and just formatting it how I know it's gonna show well, which is perfect right now. I was pretty on the nose.
That's
Uh,
experience. It's perfect. It's centered. You did
that's what you
well.
pay for.
Right?
Yep. So we selected that ad. We are pretty close to ready to go. People are going to
Awesome.
see this. They're going to see right where to click it. Let's make sure we're going down our little list here so we don't get too far off track. We deselected the catalog. We have our link. We have our post. Um, no, we don't need the captions. We can add a text option. I don't know actually how beneficial it is, but we could say because it likes testing different variations. It says the more options you give me to present to people, the more we can figure out what people resonate with quicker. So if you just give it one image, one text line, one headline, you know, it's not a lot to go off of. And a lot of times our feelings can be wrong. We might think, oh, people will love this, but they actually go for something else, which is usually the case with me because I'm a weirdo. So, um, what should we, is there a quick, maybe alternative option where we could, instead of just the link up here, we could maybe say something else and then include the link also right below it. But no matter what, when they click on that, it's going to take them because down here, let me skip ahead just a second. We're gonna click shop now. We have all these call to actions. You obviously, with your business, your product, you can click the one that's most relevant. Obviously, for us to shop now, it's going to
Now.
be, and even more specifically, we want to put that shirt link in, not just the website, because we, even though we'd like them to shop around, the ultimate goal is to getting them to purchase this shirt because that's
Right.
what we're spending money to do. So we want them to do that. If they get distracted, then we wasted our ad spend. Um, so I'm going to click on this shirt, copy the link, copy, go back to the ads
Click
now.
on go back to the shirt
Uh-huh.
and click on the athletic heather.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah. The gray one. I think for some reason gray works really well with all the Texas stuff.
Yeah, let's use that link.
Yeah, well, it's the same link. It's just a different variation. Well, actually, no, I'm wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, it's no, it's okay.
The colors do have a different tiny little different numbers on the end. So I'm not perfect, Kevin. All right, there we go.
Nice.
And to land on variant gray color. So good catch on that. Update post. So now it'll update our preview over here. Look, oh, shop now. That's so cool.
It is. And so what was you talking about over here about the text at the top?
Yeah,
If we
so we
wanted to add
can
something,
we can just
just like an eye
roll.
catcher or something or what?
It's so believe it or not, the text that's in here at the top of these ads is very motivating, can be very motivating. I think I read it's like 20 something percent, 24, 25% of motivation is what people put in this text body. So we can have the link here. but again, it gives us the option to add another variation to test. So let me find where that was, if I can. Maybe can I personally? Huh, I don't see it anymore. Do you see it?
Oh, no.
Sometimes when you tailor your ad a certain way, it removes certain features or options that either that just don't work with it or that they don't allow. Like, so I don't even see where that they must have taken the option to add a different text creative away when I selected the shop now, which is
True, true.
okay because really the ad speaks for itself. I mean, I see this shirt, I see that it's on a man, it's on a woman. If I like this shirt, I'm gonna go check it out. If not, I'm gonna keep scrolling. So there's not really a lot for them to read to try to convince them. If you had the option, wouldn't be a bad thing to put it in there, but it's not giving us the option, so I don't think it's the end of the world.
Good.
Uh, and I have this web events selected. And this Pixel ID right here, this is another like seven-figure game changer because this data set that we previously installed into your website is what talks back and forth from Shopify to Facebook, and they give each other the data on everyone's actions. Like Facebook will say, "Hey, we're sending this person to your website, Shopify," and then Shopify will say, "Hey, cool. We know this person clicked on these two products, they added it to their cart, but they didn't check out. And we'll send that data back to Facebook. Facebook's like, okay, cool. Thanks for telling us that. Now we know how to optimize this better, and we'll even give our business owner the option to run another ad to retarget that person who clicked but didn't follow through, and so that in hopes that they will follow through the next time. So that's why this is so powerful. Otherwise, you're kind of just like shooting a shotgun into the sky, hoping you hit a bird. And then repetition is super important in advertising because, again, how many advertisements do you see a day compared to how many times you click on an advertisement and buy that product the very first time? So you have to
Gotcha.
think about yourself and your own patterns because they're very similar to most people. Like almost no one learns about something, checks it out, and buys it in the same day or in the same time. Um, Difficult to hear, difficult to process, but unfortunately, that's the reality. But that's why we can, compile this data into. Um, let's see if we can actually go. I want to show you that real quick before we finish this. Um, and then we will finish it out. So if I go to Events Manager, that's where this data is logged after you install the website information, and we'll be able to see right here, it's showing us, cool, it's showing us who we know. There's two different data sets here. One's a pixel, one the Texasmark.store pixel right here. This is Facebook's data set that it's gathered. The Shopify C API is all the data that Shopify's gathered. So you kind of use them both. The more data you have, the more powerful. But Shopify,
Right.
hey, we know 3,500 people have been on your site recently, and 171 of those people have added an item to cart. Do you want to run an ad only to those 171 people so that they're likely to convert? Convert meaning buy or, purchase whatever.
Mhm.
They're like, heck yeah, we want to do that. Well,
Yeah.
with this data, we can select this action, and that's going back to that sales campaign. That's where you would set that up.
Gotcha.
So let's go back and finish this out because we're almost done, and this has been really fun, but we want to get this ad running. Everything looks good. I mean, you can check it over. Let me know if you see anything that looks off. Otherwise, we will engage this ad or publish this ad, and then it will go through about an hour of checks just to make sure you're not, promoting something harmful or whatever. And then most likely say, hey, you're all good. We're going to put this out to, like we showed you, 2,000 to 4,000 people a day.
Nice.
What do you think, Kev?
Looks good. Looks good. So the enhancements, it says 3 of 5 turned off. add catalog items, add video filter, turn on visual touch ups, text improvements.
Yeah, these are just kind of like fancy features.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not super important, and it already has some of these on, but oh, like earlier, we actually turned off the catalog items, but we would have the option to add these other catalog items, but we're trying to focus on this shirt.
Yes.
And then video filter, no, we don't need that. So it's just kind of optional,
Okay.
no bells and whistles. So, and this is how it's, and you can look over here and see how it's going to show in Facebook, Instagram, stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, actually dozens of different placements. And
Nice.
yeah, once you start once you start playing around in here, you'll notice ads a lot more all over the Facebook platform that you never knew there were spots for ads for.
Right.
But no, I mean that's kind of what Facebook has done well and why they've made so much money is because they took what was originally organic to the person, which is scrolling a feed, and they just basically tweaked it and allowed people to put ads that look exactly like regular content so that people don't perceive the ad as much. They think it's more like regular content. So that's why a lot of the high level marketers will say the more the less you can make your ads look like ads, the better they'll perform because people are just they don't tense up or get that sales resistance. They're just seeing it as a piece of regular organic content. And we got 10 minutes left, so let's send this bad boy off.
Cool.
Unless you have any other tweaks or questions.
Nah, I think you've done a good job.
Sweet. Well, we're gonna hit publish, and that thing's gonna go. That's a good looking ad too, by the way. We did a good job.
Yes, very much so.
And it'll be cool to come back. And once you do the ad, you don't necessarily just want to, just wait, see, did I get a sale? I mean, of course you do want a sale, but you want to go and check. You want to be able to read the data because that will give you, that's your blueprint to see what's working and what's not, what you could tweak. Maybe you could, if something's doing really well, put more money in it. I mean, if you're putting in $1 and making two, the game is to add zeros, period.
Right?
That's the whole game. And so once you're profitable, you see how you can maybe make it better, um, scale it up with ad spend or whatever. So like we wrap that up. Great, we're done. We could end there, but since we have a few minutes left, let's just go look at some campaign data and start dissecting it. Um, and typically, this is what you pay marketers to do for you, so you don't have to look at it and try to, you know, figure stuff out. But since, we're doing the video and I like showing our work, we'll show you what's happening. So, um, yeah, so we already kind of went over a lot of this. This one up here, Christmas traffic campaign, almost 5%. I would probably never something that performs well, you want to think long and hard about turning off. Um, Now it might not get you to the finish line, but it might get you halfway there because remember what we said about advertising and start thinking about it when you see ads. Like we almost never take action the first time we see something. Like we ourselves and what we have to do with other people is get them on a conveyor belt of education, um, nurturing, um, lots of different steps of basically know, like, and trust. That's the whole thing. We want them to know about us, then we want them to like us, then we want them to trust us, and then they'll be ready to purchase. I wish it was easier than that, but um, reality is it's just more complicated. But that's why targeting is so imperative because a lot of the work is done for you. So, um, yeah, you can see lots of different things on here. More data that kind of gives you an overview. So basically, a cost per thousand people reach For that hat, you can get in front of $1,000 for $6.61. Uh,
Right.
oh, sorry, this might have been the ornament. I don't know, but still, you
Hmm.
can see CPM. That's cost for 1,000 impressions. I can get in front of people 1,000 times for $5, $6, whatever. Um, so that's why Facebook is the most affordable way to advertise. Click-through rates, again, really good numbers. It just takes repetition, different angles, refining your audience, I think, you know, again, sometimes depending on your objectives, deeper is better than wider if you're just trying to start making profit. Of course, it all depends on your budget. If you got a lot of money to blow and just growing a wide audience and you're not as concerned about like profitability off the bat. And it's different for every industry too. Like e-com's honestly probably one of the hardest to scale up because the margins are so thin. Whereas like our electrical client, like we're doing $60 per lead, and that lead they're getting like a $2,000 job booked or a $3,000 job booked. That's a huge margin. And so
Right.
it's all different. It's all a different game. So anyways, I've rambled a lot, but we're almost out of time. Do you have anything to wrap us up?
So when do you think we'll have some results on the Texas Roads campaign?
It'll start running probably within the hour. When you wake up, you'll probably see some data on it. Um, again, the more data you can accumulate, the more you can use to go from there. Um, and short answer is by tomorrow. Um, and then you'll have, data you can look at tomorrow. You can compare in a week from now. And so, yeah,
It's
I think
great.
I think this one will do well because it's a great ad, great song, great graphics, a good reel, and that's targeting people in Texas interested in country music. So like the whole cake's there, the ingredients are there. So I expect the data to come back pretty good on this one. And
Just
then
gotta let it bake.
exactly, got to let it bake. Unfortunately, especially for me, because I'm so impatient, time is definitely an important factor. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I mean, it's especially with a brand or an e-com business, it's definitely time is a factor because you just have to get in front of people enough amount of times for them to remember you and then to like what you have and then be motivated to get what you have, even if they like it the very first time they see it. They just might not have their wallet on them. They might get distracted by the baby crying, or they might be at work or whatever. There's just any number of reasons, but it's just life, man. Everything, there's hundreds of ads in front of us a day. And so it's basically about less trying to sell them something, but trying to like sort of suck them into your world per se, I guess. And that's why niches are pretty important, and brand resonance is pretty important because people buy with feeling a lot, not necessarily, you know, not necessarily price. Having the lowest price doesn't mean you're going to get more business necessarily. So,
Right.
yeah, lots of stuff I've learned over years from 7, 8, 9 figure marketers and ad buyers but I mean it's just like being a doctor, it's a practice and it's all, constantly being revised and improved. So anyway, we got 2 minutes left. Sorry I rambled this whole time, but
No, you're good.
a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff, a lot of info, a lot of things you know.
Yeah, and so all of that is why you pay for marketing.
Right, right, right. That's well, you have to specialize in things.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to pay for marketing. You can, if you want to try it on your own, if you want to grow slow, if you want to try to go viral, those are options for you. It's just for that business or that person, what's your objective and what's the most likely way to reach that objective? And usually that's partnering with someone who has all of this specialty knowledge to reach thousands of people a day for a specific purpose with a specific product. So,
Oh, so I did have a question for you though.
uh-huh.
So
One,
I've
one
got
minute.
well, 1 minute. So this is gonna be a quick one. So most of my students that are seniors, that are 18, 17, 18, they don't use Facebook.
Mhm.
They do TikTok.
Sure. And TikTok has their own. Actually, is basically China ripping off Facebook. So the ad dashboard looks very similar. So you have to think about it in terms, and this is what my eight-figure marketer mentor told me, like, don't worry about the platform as much as the psychology and the philosophy of everything, because you could apply all of the same funnel and sales principles to any channel, whether it be Google, Facebook, Instagram. Well, Facebook and Instagram, they're the same company, but TikTok, if everything crashed tomorrow and there was some brand new company, it's going to be the same psychological funnel that we're going to take people down. So,
Right. Then TikTok might get banned tomorrow.
supposedly it's going away in January because they're not doing what the US government wants them to do. So, guess where all that
Right.
traffic is going? Instagram.
Yeah.
So,
It's good to know.
yep. Well, hey man, it's good to show you that whole ad thing, and I'm excited to see all the results. And thanks for letting me, spout my fire hydrant on you.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. Thank you. I
Yeah,
thought I really like what you've done.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, I love working with you. I just love helping people build businesses. So, yeah.